So please, if you have to go, take a coupon so you can come and have prasadam. We have enough prasadam for about 300 devotees, so everybody here will have to take a lot if we want to finish everything. I'd like to read you something from Radhanath Maharaj. He phoned me last night, he wanted to come. And then I got this note from his servant, message from Radhanath Swami. So I'll just read this out. Dear disciples and well-wishers of His Holiness Srila Govinda Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances on glories to Srila Prabhupada, on glories to Srila Govinda Maharaj. I wish I could be with you today, but I have an urgent GBC Bureau meeting from 10 o'clock to 2:30, which is when our program is going to be finished at 2:30. Srila Govinda Maharaj is truly a pure, unalloyed devotee, an intimate associate of Srila Prabhupada and Shri Radha Madhav, and a loving, merciful Vaishnava. I congratulate the fortune of all his disciples, and I pray to worship the dust of the lotus feet of all those who are dear to Srila Govinda Maharaj, your servant, Radhanath Swami. So, Radhanath Maharaj, there's also a couple of other offerings that devotees wrote that they requested me to read out. Sasarup Maharaj was one of them. I was very delighted because he's sometimes keeps to himself these days. And he wrote something very nice, and I'd like to read that. If I can find it.
Is that recently?
Yes. My first memories of Govinda Maharaj, Sasarup Maharaj sent me this a few days ago. My first memories of Govinda Maharaj are when he was a thin sannyasi, not yet a member of the GBC. His main engagement was to translate Prabhupada's books into the Odia language. Every year when I would go to Mayapur, he would come to my room and present to me the most recent translation of Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam. What struck me about him was his extreme humility and meekness. He was very sweet-tempered, and although I felt myself his junior, he treated me with respect. There's a nice photo we have of Sasarup Maharaj and Bhubaneswar sitting just with our Gour Maharaj. And after Sasarup Maharaj left, Gour Maharaj mentioned to someone, he said, he's a Bhagavad devotee. He's on the platform above. He really appreciated Sasarup Maharaj very, very much. Continues our offering. As the years went by, Govinda Maharaj started talking more and more about the intimate pastimes of Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. I wondered how the transformation in him took place. One year, when I went to Jagannath Puri, I had a private darshan with him. I asked him how he came to transform into speaking so much about intimate pastimes. And he told me that he had gained the association of a godbrother of Prabhupada. He said that this devotee was like a Siksha guru to him and inspired him to hear about intimate pastimes of Krishna. He then began to talk to me in emotional ecstasy about Krishna sending Uddhava to Vrindavan to observe the love of God manifested by the gopis. I could see that his talking about the ecstatic pastimes of Krishna consciousness was not an artificial thing, but was very natural to him. Govinda Maharaj started traveling around the world, lecturing in many places. I heard him speak at length in Gita Nagari and very much appreciated his realizations. He was very affectionate to me then, Satsrup Das Goswami. I recall in 1994, I had Gour Maharaj give me the service of putting Lord Jagannath to rest every night in our Bhubaneswar temple. And one such night, I had just taken a bath, I was getting dressed, I was getting ready to go do my service, and some devotee came in and said, Gour Maharaj wants to talk to you. I had my duty, sir. I said, well, how come my service is more important, even than association with my guru? I said, well, how can I go? I have this service. He said, no, you don't. Somebody else is doing that. And you're supposed to, from tonight on, you're becoming Gour Maharaj's personal servant. Okay? I was a little surprised. So I went to Gour Maharaj's hut, and I was somebody showed me a few things, what to do. I was very nervous, very uncomfortable. And I did whatever I was supposed to do, and then I just sat there. And he was doing some writing and things. And then after a little while, he kind of noticed me, and he started speaking to me in a very friendly, intimate way, which I think in retrospect was done perhaps to encourage me and make me feel comfortable. But he was speaking in a very personal way, something about what Satsvarupa Maharaj was saying here. He told me a story. He said, after Srila Prabhupada left, I was staying here in Bhubaneswar, and I had no association. And he said, sometimes I was going to Cuttack, and there's a Gaudiya mud temple there. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had stayed there. And he said, I was reading some of the books they had many Sanskrit, Bengali books. And on one occasion, one of the devotees there in the Gaudiya Math, he told me, oh, it's very good that you're coming here and reading these books because your Guru Maharaj's books, they don't have everything in them. And Guru Maharaj said, he said that, he said, when I heard that, I was very hurt. And that was a very offensive thing, and I decided I'll not go there again. So then I had no association, and I was just staying there. And then he said that one day, Bhakti Charan Das, who was a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, somehow he came here to the property. At that time there was no temple, as Brother Gajlila was saying, there was nothing there. There were wild animals in that area. Still to this day, about a 2-kilometer walk north of the Bhubaneswar temple, there are wild elephants. I know, I've heard them. There's a wild elephant preserve just north of that. It was a very wild place. At that time, there was nothing there. Bhakti Charan Maharaj made some comment this morning about how there was nothing there. Srila Prabhupada, when he came, he said that one day, this will become the center of the city. The devotees couldn't believe it. But if you go there today, I can't remember her name, Pradyumna Prabhu's wife, Prabhupada's disciple. Arundhati Mataji, she came and to Bhubaneswar, and I said, have you been here before? She said, yes. I said, when were you here last? She said, 1977, with Srila Prabhupada. She was transcribing some of Prabhupada's dictaphone things at that time. And I said, oh, have things changed? And she couldn't recognize anything. It was just completely different. Because at that time it was just a forest. And today, when you go there, there's just buildings everywhere. And all those buildings came after the temple. Srila Prabhupada said that one day this will become the center of the city. And today, that Nayapali village, IRC village area, is the fastest growing part of Bhubaneswar. So, I lost track of the time. Sorry? Oh, thank you. So, Guru Maharaj said that he came there, Bhakti Charan Das, and he said, I don't know, like a child, he told me this, he said, I don't know why, but he liked me. He said, he liked me very much. And then he started speaking so many things, very high things, about the gopis and Radharani and Krishna. And he said, and then I knew Srila Prabhupada sent him. And I remember on another occasion, Satsvarupa Maharaj was saying how Guru Maharaj had spoke about him like he was his Siksha Guru. It's an interesting subject because Ranjit Prabhu, our godbrother, wanted to do something pleasing for Guru Maharaj. And we'd heard some stories about Bhakti Charan Das, they used to call him Bhagavat Maharaj. He's a very famous Mahatma in Orissa. And he thought he'd give a photograph of him to Guru Maharaj. So he got a picture of him and he framed it nicely and he gave it to Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj became furious. And he started yelling at him. Why are you giving me this picture? I'm a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Why are you giving me his picture? And he sometimes spoke about him. He said that I saw that Srila Prabhupada sent him, but he never addressed him as a Siksha Guru. He always considered that he respected him because Srila Prabhupada spoke through him. He felt very much like that, but he didn't have a formal relationship like that with him. We saw him a few times. Just some little thing I wanted to add on.